There are many methods available when training a dog or animal. There is positive method training, negative method training, and passive method. Positive method training was developed by trainers at places like SeaWorld who focus on marine and aquatic animals. Positive method training is one of the most successful training methods you can use in training any animal. Reason being is that it teaches confidence and inspires them to want to listen to you. The method was originally developed for performing animals, like dolphins. The reason it's so successful is because there's really no other way to train a dolphin. I mean, you can't put a choke chain on a dolphin, right? It's a great method to use, but sometimes a little hard for people to grasp. It focuses on the idea that the animal, no matter what it does, is always right. For the behaviors that it does wrong, it's ignored, but not punished. All three methods of dog training, passive, positive, and negative, do have their place in the education of an animal, but not all the time. Even negative method has its place. But today we're going to focus on just positive method training and a little bit of passive, and I'll explain as we go what those are and how they help us. Today we're going to focus on crate training and making the crate a positive place, so you can see why negative method should not be used in this situation. So why do we use crate training? Well, reason being is, you see that puppy that just ran out of the picture. If he was left home alone, he will find something to do on his own. And he likes to chew things. That's one of his favorite things to do. And if left to his own devices, he may find it fun to chew the couch, perhaps somebody's shoe, pillows, windows. You get the idea. So first and foremost, crate training is a containment system. While puppies do enjoy sleeping outside of their crates in the daytime, sometimes they need a place to be contained to, and that's where our crate comes into play. Making the crate comfortable is really very easy to do. Your dog doesn't need that much to be happy. However, it's still important to discuss the feeding and watering situation you have with your dog. Before starting crate training of any kind, it's imperative that you do not give your dog any food or water at least 2 hours before putting him in the crate, even more so for puppies. We do this to discourage accidents, but should your dog have an accident inside of his crate, you should invest in cleaning products specifically made for pets. Now, I wouldn't use this because it's for carpets, but as you see, it is for pets and removes stains and odors. That's important. Now let's face it, crates can be pretty expensive. I really like these big metal ones because they're open and they're airy. They're also very sturdy in design, and I have a German Shepherd puppy, so I definitely need that. A feature which I now specifically look for is these double doors that these crates have, and they're only on these big metal crates, which I've noticed, but they open and they allow your dog to come in both sides, and as you can see, the puppy likes going in and out of his crate already. Of course, he's already been familiarized with the crate, but the idea of having two doors is important. You can see I'm kind of running my hand along these bars. When you find a quality crate, you should make sure that there's no wire hanging out from any of these areas. The most common places that I find are along the top and the inside. There's also other common places like where the crate joins together at the very top. These can be sharp, and if they are sharp, they can hurt your dog or puppy. Check your crate before buying it and after using it. Puppies do like to chew on the metal bars, and if there's any wear and tear, you should be concerned. I'm still pointing out all the areas you should be checking. These little clasps are especially known to have sharp edges. This crate can be pretty expensive, $100 to $150 depending on size, but remember, quality counts. This is your dog. These crates are very open, which is why I recommended a blanket or towel to cover it up over the top. Now, your dog can pull these in if they get too bored, but for the time being it does make it feel a lot more homey and like a den, and they'll be more content to lay down and go to sleep. Now, it's completely optional to put a blanket in the crate for your dog. Some dogs like it, some dogs don't. Phantom, the German Shepherd puppy, has a double undercoat, so he may not like a warm, soft blanket like this as much as, say, a Chihuahua would, but it's the thought that counts sometimes. And he may enjoy ripping it up, or he may enjoy sleeping on it. You just gotta find what's best for your dog. Most dogs are perfectly comfortable in a bare crate, so don't feel too sentimental about leaving him alone with no towels, blankets, or toys. Now, Phantom is already basically crate trained. He's been familiarized and he really enjoys his crate. So these exercises are going to seem a lot easier for me than they are for you. But just stick with it and be patient. All dogs learn at different levels. One exercise is to get your dog excited about the crate, which I'm doing off the camera. We're running and jumping around. And once he's good and excited, I run right up to the crate and he follows my finger straight in. So I open the door, ask him to go inside, and once he lays down, he gets his reward, and then he's allowed to eat it and come right on out. Now, if you live in a multiple dog household and have a dog already assimilated with the crate, you can ask your already trained dog to go into the crate and see if your other dog will follow him in. This works best with puppies since they're mostly followers, but can work with some adult dogs. Eventually, this kind of turns into a bit of a crate party when Phantom, Laddie, and Joey, a blind dog, all hop into the crate. As you can imagine, this method could easily become very dangerous, so it's not highly recommended, nor is it recommended if you're unsure of your dog's behavior in any way. But as a last resort, it can be used in some dogs and can be very successful. In the end, we're just trying to make the crate a positive place to be, and positive method training is really only limited by your imagination. So this next training tip is dragging a big dog bed into the crate, and as you can see, I have 3 dogs who are all chow hounds and love treats, so they all look up to me for, well, food. But Phantom, the puppy that we're trying to train, actually really enjoys his bed. So if you put his bed in there, it kind of just makes him want to lay in his bed and he won't even realize that he's anywhere near or inside the crate. Sometimes we just want to get our dogs near it and then eventually move them into it. Phantom is still learning that he needs to lay down when he's on his bed and he needs to take treats gently. As you see, he just bites my hand off, but we make him wait, be very gentle with it, and eventually he can have his treat. Good boy. I really love this next method, and it's great for big dogs especially. And it's hand feeding, and what you would do is feed your dog who's serving a food in his kennel, right out of your hand, as you can see what I'm doing. What it teaches your dog is some self-control. It teaches him to take food out of your hand gently, which he's still learning as he tries to bite all my fingers and his food. But it will teach him eventually that he's not going to have to survive a 12-year famine just to eat. And as you can see, he thinks that food is never going to come back again the way he's taken the food out of my hand. But he does try to be gentle eventually, and that's what we're aiming for. A dog that takes food gently out of your hand is a grace to have around anybody, especially small children. These dogs, especially shepherds, can get very territorial over their food, so it's imperative that you teach them now that food is yours and you're giving it to them. It's still your food. What I mean by it being your food is that it's not theirs to get territorial over in the first place. These are your toys, your food, your kennel, your beds, but you're being nice and sharing, and he should too. Now, Phantom actually gets fed in his crate almost every time he eats. Sometimes he'll eat in the kitchen or elsewhere, but feeding him in his crate automatically turns it into a positive place. As he learns to be gentle and take food nicely, he can also learn that when it's time for dinner, it's time to go lay down in his crate, so it turns into a calm situation. As you can see, he still goes crazy over getting food, and we're working on that, but he's a puppy. I don't expect very much. Having a dog that's trained to lay in its crate calmly is great. It's absolutely wonderful to have. You can put your dog in his crate while you're mopping the house, while you're sweeping floors, while you're doing anything that doesn't require the presence of your dog, really. But having a crate-tamed dog is no excuse to have your dog locked in a cage all day long. Follow the steps outlined in these short videos and you will be a successful dog trainer. This is a trainer from Las Vegas Canine Training wishing you the best of luck. And remember, anyone can train.